Hello and welcome to Lesson Learned, a conversation about Mythcraft. I am Corey Griffin,
And I'm Kobe Randolph.
and today we're going to be talking about halflings in Mythcraft. Sorry about getting a little bit late, guys. There's a minor few technical difficulties we just had to work through.
It wouldn't be fun if there weren't some difficulties.
No, isn't that the truth? How is we actually have a few people already in chat, which I love. So, how is everyone?
Da, da, da.
Okay. So, like I said, we are going to be talking about halflings today. Um, I don't have a whole lot of experience playing halflings myself, at least not in Mythcraft. Um,
I have one. That's the big one. I mean, people who have listened to our vote in one shot would meet my halfling, which we'll talk about more later in this. But I do have a special place in my heart because of that boy for halflings.
yeah, he was very enjoyable to have around. Um, Also, he was like,
That was an adventure. You guys should watch the vote in one shot if you have it. That was a very fun. It's very long. It's a long episode, but it's really great to put in the background while you're doing something. I've listened to it a few times. Good episode, but not the self promo the whole time.
at least not yet, right?
I just love that character. But yeah, we gonna start with some culture on this bad boy, or do
Um,
we want to go into traits for these
go into
guys?
traits.
Okay.
Mostly like for me, especially when I think halfling culture, I always have the two examples that I think about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I love the fact that Mythcraft went the route of um, there's no singular culture, and they're just known for like having like interstellar lineages, if that makes any sense at all to the people listening. You know, they're respected for like their singing, their dancing, their music, and stuff like that. And they have like a like energy and wherewithal that is just super creative, and I I like it. I like their take on it. That being said, when we get down into their features, I see like possibly three possible like things that you could really tie into having culturally, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, let's move into our traits. So our height is anywhere from 210 to 4'2".
Little guys.
Right. Our
They
weight is 50 to 80. Again, it's about right.
Yeah, we have a size of small, uh, and a base speed of 20 feet. Their appearance, they share the basic features of humans, so they tend to have brighter characteristics, and they only stand about as tall as a human child. They have the same body proportions as an adult human, even though they stand about the size of an adult child. A human child, Jesus. Words are not easy for us tonight. This but halflings also reach maturity around the age of 16 and live naturally to be about 70, 90 years old.
I find that like kind of weird because like in a lot of fiction, like our halflings live considerably more.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I'm not gonna complain, right? Like we got 16. We go out on our adventures. We got what 60 years about.
Yep. Especially an adventure lifespans usually ain't that long. So,
Not in Kobe's games.
Jesus Christ, no. Getting right into our features, though, we'll start off with at level 1. You gain the following features, starting off with Halfling stature. Your reflex increases by 1, and you can move through any space occupied by another creature without suffering a penalty to your speed, though you may not end your movement there.
There, there's some shenanigans here, and I love it, and we'll get
Oh
into it.
yeah. uh,
The next one
bring
that we come
oh,
to is going to be Bountiful Life. And it's a skill point. You gain +6 skill points that you can spend on any of the following features. You cannot have more than 4 points in a single skill using this feature, right? So with the acrobatics tag, we're looking at balancing, contorting, tumbling. With the influence tag, deceiving, empathy, gossiping, and persuading. With the luck tag, you're looking at fortuity. With the observation tag, you're looking at eavesdropping, intuiting, investigating, and perceiving. With the performance tag, you're looking at dancing, entertaining, instrument, which you get to choose which instrument, and savoir faire. With the subterfuge tag, you're looking at evading and sleight of hand. With survival, you're looking at sheltering and sneaking. This list
so
is
good.
so good. Like, holy shit, guys.
It is hard to pick the 6 point. Where to put the 6 points? Truthfully, it is. It's so many good thing options on this one. I want them all. Just give them all to me.
I just like any charisma based character is going to want that spread of the influence tag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perceiving, one of the most used skills in the game. Maybe the performance bits is like character, but like survive, like sheltering and sneaking, evading sleight of hand. Like both of those are, all four of those are super like well used.
Mm-hmm.
In like I said, perceiving. It's just a strong list. How do they expect you to choose off of this list?
I struggled.
And then
Straight up
also,
struggle.
yeah, right. And then also at level 1, we get our unique feature.
Yeah, there's no sub lineage in this. They kind of just pick them yourself.
Yeah.
Starting us off with bravery. Whenever a creature tries to frighten you, they must roll 2d20 and use the lower.
Again, just strong. Bravery 2. You cannot be frightened by creatures. Effects that do not originate from creatures can still frighten you. That's just strong.
Mm-hmm. And then
You have to
bravery
have
3.
bravery for it, but
Yeah.
still.
Bravery 3, bravery 2. You cannot be frightened by any source. Good.
The frightened condition is rough.
Mm-hmm.
I've used it in our game. Imagine not being frightened.
Yeah, no, it is. Saying no to any skill is really good, and it's obviously in certain campaigns, like if it just where there is something more grim, dark, and scary shit's happening, you're just not. I ain't about that life.
Right. So the next one that we come to is Calm Observance. It's repeatable. You gain +6 skill points that you can spend on any skill with the observation tag. You cannot spend more than 4 points on a single skill this way. Again, observation is just stacked full of amazing and wonderful skills.
Yeah,
It's
no,
hard to
it's
turn that down.
observation's great. Like, I mean, there's never a situation where like seeing shit's gonna be bad. Even if it's seeing something scary and bad, you know it's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Bringing us to determined. Once a rest, when you're reduced to 0 HP, immediately regain 1 HP. Regain the ability. Oh, sorry, I was starting the next. No. I didn't see the line. I was just going right to the next one. Sorry about that.
You're good. After that, we have Determined 2, have to have determined for it. We regain the ability to use your determined feature after a recoup.
One less hit is 2 less death points on your bar, and that is so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Bringing us to determined 3, you have to be level 2 as well as character level 15 to take this one. Regain the ability to use your determined feature after you catch your breath.
Just strong.
What? That's just that's so good.
That's every fight. That's saying
Every
every
fight.
fight you go to 0, you can pop the 1 instead.
Nuh-uh.
After that, we come to Halfling Grace, which is a repeatable skill. And we gain 6 skill points that you can spend on any skill with the acrobatics tag. You cannot spend more than 4 points on a single skill this way. Acrobatics is not quite as strong as like the observation skills, but it's still, if you want to be an acrobatic character, just boom, more skill points. Amazing.
And then going with that skill points, we come to Halfling Charm, which is repeatable, gain 6 skill points that you can spend on any skill with the influence tag. You cannot spend them more than +4 skill points on a single skill in this way. This is so good. Truthfully, Halfling skills, I mean, like, obviously, acrobatics isn't the best tag, but the things you are able to pick through on top of the base skills that you're, like, they are a really good class to dump some fucking skills on, too.
Right. I would argue that influence is probably the second best tag in the game. And it's going to be first for anyone with that wants to be the face of the party, that wants to do the talking. They're almost going to want influence tag skills more than observation. So
needs a few more of those tag skills.
I mean, that's up to you. The next one that we come to is small but mighty. Whenever you use the trip maneuver against a creature that is at least 1 size larger than you, you may choose to make the attack using your dexterity instead of your strength. If you do so, the target suffers a -2 penalty to their reflex against this attack. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Was that the one that was changed at some point for this small mighty feature, or what was the one that gained TA that they had to change? I know Chad Bane used it and they changed it after, and I was sad, but it was one. I think it was maybe the specialization.
It may have been a specialization talent that we'll talk about later.
Sorry,
I'm going to be honest, right? Like, as much as I love character creation in this game, I didn't ever really have like a big reason to read about halflings until we were setting up for this.
Yeah, no, you're in that MC chair often. But our last feat becomes small but mighty 2. You need to have character level 2. You can attacking a creature at least 1 size larger than character level 10. What did I just say?
You just say character level 2, and I'm like, wait a minute.
Small but mighty 2. You need to be character level 10. Brain, work with me today, please. When attacking creature at least 1 size larger than you, your crit range increases by 1, or by 2 if the creature is more than 3 size larger than you. Oh no, it's that one. I think it was that one. Yeah, that's the one that I got. That one used to be if it was no wait. It is the same. I'm losing my mind right now. I'm going crazy. I'm on off my own little tangent. I apologize.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. Do we want to talk about Chad Bane a little bit? Like, we were high enough level that you got 3 of these. What were they, and what would you have chosen for your next ones?
So I did I think I just did Bravery 1 because I didn't want to go down the full track because we were doing vote and stuff. I'm pretty sure I didn't want to completely cancel out the chance of me being frightened, but I may have actually just gone all the way down it now I'm thinking about it because I don't think I ever did get frightened in that. No, I didn't. No, I did just go Bravery 3 all the way and say, fuck it. I wanted to not have to worry about that. I remember because Chad Bane wasn't afraid of things. He was afraid of himself and his darkness. But yeah, Chad Bane was a very edgy rogue halfling. Kind of you know, he went down the bravery track to not be afraid of anything. He was all about reflexes and not getting stabbed and critting really hard. I believe I might be losing my mind, but I'm pretty sure Small But Mighty was a little bit differently originally, where it was not a you didn't have to build in to get the crit range increase originally, is what I'm thinking it was. Because I did have something that made me crit higher already than I did, but he also took the Small But Mighty feature as well because he was a little guy stabbing everything. And if I could keep going, it would have been down the determined route. Because I think that route was really good. It just didn't kind of fit in with the level we were at. But who doesn't want to not die?
Right, right. So for me, with that, we can occupy someone's space as long as we don't end our turn in it. Right. Let me double check. Oh, as long as we do not end our movement there.
Mhm.
Halflings are some of the best flankers because they don't have to try and go out and around. They just shoot through, right?
Mhm.
And the way it's worded, you're not going to be able to convince me I can't go through a enemy's square because it says
Oh
creatures,
yeah, yeah. No,
right?
I
It's
used that to gain flanking for TA. That's why I did the. That's why I built the rogue. Because I was like, oh, I can always have TA as long as there's someone's near me. Because I just run to the other side of them through your legs, and then you get stabbed in the ass. It is so good.
stabbed in the ass as you're running through. Um, but yeah, so like, but also the shenanigans you can get into with that paired with small but mighty
hmm
on anything high dexterity. So a dex ranger, a dex warrior, a dex berserker, any of them would love to trip using dexterity instead of
hmm
strength. So anyone that takes dexterity over strength gonna love that just utility that comes with being able to knock people prone.
Yeah, no, it becomes
Um,
really good.
Pugilist, if you decide to go dex pugilist, like
Yeah, I was
everyone's
wondering, and
gonna
with
love that.
pugilist maneuvers, how does that work when it considers a trip maneuver? Like, because doesn't the pugilist have some maneuvers that are like considered advanced trips, or am I gonna kind of, or would that like would
This
you
one is specific for the basic
the
maneuver
space trip?
trip.
Okay, I
Okay.
didn't know how that would be ruled. Actually, I was reading. I was wondering if like if I had the one where I could do would that also boost that? But no, I mean that makes sense that it wouldn't. I just
No,
did not know
with
actually.
it saying you can make the trip, and trip is even capitalized, right? It is the trip maneuver.
hmm
It is definitely the basic maneuver. Though, like honestly, even on that build that I focus dexterity and do some tripping, I'm gonna want maybe I'm gonna want determined because I am gonna be like close. I'm also gonna want calm observation,
Oh,
right?
colonization is so good.
And just to have that there, and maybe even halfling calm, just to portray. Sorry about that. Just to portray that like leader type situation of
Yeah.
like this is who we are. I'm gonna knock you to the ground because I am awesome and you are not.
There was a point in early Les design where he was actually going to be a halfling because I think these characters do build great troubadours,
Mm-hmm.
and it is super imperative for sometimes like placement. I think for troubadour, especially if you're building a big booster and or debuffer.
Mm-hmm.
So just that halfling stature along with like determined and the charm and stuff, like you can make such a good face as soon as we get to combat is like, all right, I'm gonna get to the best spot and be singing my songs and my tunes. And if you try to hit me, I'm running the fuck away after again too. I think it's really
To
fun.
be fair with you though, I you could also make a caster with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to be completely honest, like how many times have I blocked off an exit or made things hard with bodies, right?
Yeah.
With enemy bodies.
Go ahead.
Anyone that doesn't want to be face to face with something is gonna love this feature. Yeah, you
It is.
might proc exploits when you leave, but like, hey, it happens. Not everything in the game has exploit. I just tend to grab them for campaign.
Yeah, or when you make them, it's always fun to give creatures exploits.
But yeah, it is quite fun. Um,
And I mean, just obviously, Small But Mighty 2 is a bit more of an investment. But like, it's really fun. It's just adding a crit range in a system where, like, if you do like a luck oracle or anything like luck based, which what I did a luck oracle rogue for Chad Bane
mhm.
and had the max crit range at 16
I'm
almost
thinking,
constantly.
I'm thinking Fate Oracle.
Yes, the Fate Oracle, where all your crit, everything in your crit ranges increase. So that was critting on like 18 to 20 on like every type of thing I rolled, and attacks it was like 16 to 20, and I was re-rolling things to make sure I was crit fishing. Like it really, you can build a. It helps to, like, it's not necessarily built around it, but this is a really great crit fishing build. If you go Small But Mighty 2 into like a rogue oracle track where you're gonna be good in your sneak attack constantly, if you're flanking, you're using your fate track to make sure you're getting those hits when you need them, and you're just critting bastards. I mean, my biggest hit I've ever had in a tabletop RPG was Chad Bane with one of these fucking crits. It was amazing. It was all cut in half because it was a freaking resist physical monster or whatever, but it was still, even with that, I chopped this thing up so strong. It was a very satisfying. It's very satisfying.
Yeah, no, definitely was a fun build to MC for because it plays very differently than most of your normal characters, which is run up with big thing and smack and or hide in backline and do what I do, right?
Yeah, Chad Bane was
Um
fun.
and I think that really speaks like the strengths of a
Hey, Goran.
like the strengths of a halfling are not that, oh, they're super well made for this or they're super well made for that. They are super well made for rogues, right? Full on, full stop. Halfling rogue is a halfling's best friend.
Yep.
With small but mighty, halfling stature, easy ways to generate TA for your to try and land your sneak attack as long as you're not trying to play ranged, right?
hmm
That being said, like they also make decent ranged characters because run under the feet, right?
Yeah,
Um,
it's surprising how effective a range character can be when they get behind the enemy line instead of sitting behind your lines. Because you turn around and fight me, I dare you. Deal with you, Surrey, who's right in front of you. You turn around to shoot me like that.
yeah, yeah,
Which
no,
it's so fun. I think is, like I said, there with halfling stature is just one of those things you have control over a battlefield as one character. You can split the enemy party up yourself. You can make it. You can, like, a halfling cleric becomes one of the most mobile clerics ever. My friend he got jumped behind there. Well, I'm gonna run through the legs of the BBEG, heal him, run back through his legs again, and get behind me other people. Have some fun. I'm not staying. Like, it just, it is. I want all my characters to be able to move through people. It's so fun.
right. Like I said, it is a very strong, like versatility. Also, is just insane on
hmm
halflings because you're talking two of the best skill trees to be able to get into with the observation tag skills and the influence tags. I
hmm
I would say they're probably the best ones for investment. You
Oh
get
yeah.
the most out of them for your buck, in my opinion. that being, are there niche cases where other things are better? Sure, right? Like subterfuge if you're trying to build a sneaky guy. Yeah, sure. In general, I find observation and influence to be some of the strongest skills.
Yeah, though they're like I think very broad, like broad. These are great, and the other ones are like these are great for individual character concepts. These ones are really good, but like
Mm.
there's never I don't a build that's gonna be like I don't want to be able to see things well. Like what build unless you're building a blind character like that's you're setting that up like you're I don't want my character to see well. Like that's you're
But
setting that up.
okay. But even if that, then you have things like intuiting,
Yeah, and
which
eavesdropping,
is
all the
and
other things.
eavesdropping, which are both influence skills. So what? They're not influence, but observation skills,
Yeah,
right?
it fits so well. It's so strong. It's so it's good skills.
You know, so like even when you try to build against observation, you still end up using observation.
Observation for the other thing.
So
Uh,
I, um, yeah, halflings are a lot of fun. Um, and I can even see like with determined and small but mighty. I probably wouldn't take small but mighty for a strength based warrior that just wants to defend his friends, right?
mm-hmm.
It's just strong. It's just strong.
Especially like not for there's other really fun ways like that you can like just going from 0 to 1 is like staying low is really strong in a lot of builds. Like there's builds like I think Berserker Blood Rage, like where you want to be bloodied and like stay your
Mm-hmm.
health low and like stuff like this just feeds into that. Determined is such a great thing where like, oh, I don't mind going into fight bloodied because I have at least this backup in my pocket and like it helps keep you stabilized in a fun like high risk, high reward build.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
RB should go into that. Oh my god, I just realized he should go into the stuff where if you're bloody, you do extra shit because he's always dying.
um, but yeah, that this is to say, like halflings are a lot of fun in Mythcraft. Um, we on the podcast on Tales of Yvard, like I said, we have that example of having one with Chad Bain in the not Tales of Yvard,
That was the vote.
Eternal
And
Night. Yeah, I
yeah.
was trying to remember what the V stood for. Anyway, um,
I forget the actual name all the time because I've
Veil
called it
of the
voting so much. It's
Veil
just
of the Eternal Night demo that we did. Um, with Chad Bain, so we've been able to put some content out with halflings.
go check it out. I absolutely love that character. I want you guys to go check out my edgy rogue. And
I'm just waiting for you all to get to the island of halflings and call it a day.
oh, that's out of you. Ooh, Lord drop.
And mostly sarcasm. It may happen, it may not. The island of halflings that are all determined.
That sounds like a fight that would suck.
They're all determined. They're all small but mighty.
Poor you, Surrey. Constantly on the floor.
So would Lesh, though.
Yeah.
Lesh is
Lesh
medium.
can handle being on the floor though. He should be sitting there on the floor like, "Hey, you Surrey, hit him again."
Lesh can handle being on the floor until a bunch of halflings just come down with two daggers.
Jumping on it.
One attacking his legs and tail, the other attacking his torso.
Not the bushy tail, please.
But yeah, I
Also, don't forget to check out our sponsor at Baron of Dice. wargaming and tabletop RPG dice none alike. They are made very well. Badger, our boy, he is the spokesperson in our group for them for sure. He's had a bunch of dice already from them, and yeah, so they are tested by Toy, and we do enjoy them over here. So go check them out, see what they got over there.
All right. And well, with that, I think that is everything that we have for today. We are going to apologize for being kind of late and kind of short today because that was fun. Um, if you want to see how halflings work in our game, check out our actual play podcast, Tales of Yvard.
And let us know what topics you want us to cover next time in the comments below. If no one leaves anything, we are going to be continuing with the lineages. We only have a few more of them left.
We got 2 left, and we're probably going to do Remnant next.
Ooh, okay. Cannot wait for that. I wonder if I'm going to be on that one. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see what happens next week. And Goran, to answer that question, only if you're here.
Spiders.
But yeah, thank you all for watching. If you're watching in post, thank you too. And I hope all of you have a wonderful week.
Yes, have a great rest of your week, everybody.